It's the next level.
And now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, The Melting Pat. This is the third time I'm trying this because I just, the benefit of recording on Wednesdays is that, and people have asked me about this, why do you record in advance? And I'll dive into it a little bit later, but I have time if something sucks and I don't like it or if something goes wrong. Really, that's the original reason. If something goes wrong, I can fix it. And if I don't like it, the benefit, I guess what I should have said, is the benefit of this no longer being live is that if I don't like what I said, I can just stop it and redo it, which is what I did today. So on the show today, Jesus, this means like you hearing this is the only thing you're hearing, but this is the third time I'm doing it, so I'm a little frustrated at old Pat here today. So here we go. Jeez. A little bit of sports today, not much. It won't be like a separate thing. So we will again end with the song. This was a brand new one from our dear friends, Shallow Pools, who I hope will be able to come back on the show at some point soon, as long as our schedules match up, which for me doesn't really happen that often with people. So we're trying, all right? I got some fan mail. We'll talk about, someone asked if I'd ever been asked or ever been told what to say on the show or what not to say. So we will talk about that. And I want to start today, though. Yeah, let's just jump right in because we've done this enough times where I'm done introducing myself. So yeah, again, not a lot going on because I don't have a ton going on in my life right now, right? Where, I'm doing some spring cleaning, I guess, and that really is just getting the back of the house straightened up and I already cleaned off my desk. So I think we're good. So there you go. That's what's going on with me. All right. That's my life. It's, the kids finally sleeping at night. So we're good there. And I'm able to get some cleaning down here done. So that's what's up with me. All right. Hope your Easter celebrations are wonderful for those who do that. I don't know what we're doing, if anything. Probably not. But hope you're having a wonderful weekend. So there you go. So anyway, every couple months, I walk to a local pizza place because we have Grubhub Plus. Because especially when she was pregnant, we would use Grubhub. We still use Grubhub often enough to make it worth it. Yeah, you're going to look at that and go, Pat, wow, you pay that much a month for that? Yes, I do. Because some of the places we order from, the delivery fee is ridiculous. And so I figured, well, if I give them, if I sign up for like the premium thing, then we don't have delivery fees. And every month they give us $10 back to use on a pickup order. So as far as I know, it's good for 2 months. Like they roll over at least 2 months. I'm going to ask, I wonder if they roll over, how long, how often, like how long do I have to use that $10? I'm going to ask, like, can I get because we had $20 to spend in this Grubhub money, and I wonder how many times I can roll that over. Can I do like a $50 thing? Does that work? I'm going to look into that. Grubhub, if you're listening, let me know, how long do I really have to use these $10 things? Anyway, so we have $20 for a pickup order, and so like, all right, let's order from this place around the corner, this pizza place around the corner, because I can walk there. And now that I don't have to worry about being harassed by a crazy neighbor, I'm not really worried about, having to deal with that when I'm coming or going, which is great. So I said, all right, we'll order from this place. It ended up being like $7 total what I spent for, dinner for two of us. And so I go over there. And if you don't know me in real life, I'm going to let you in a little secret. I walk funny. We're not that way. I dove into it probably early on in the podcast, but if you don't know me in real life, that's all I'm going to tell you is that I walk funny. And so people are very aware of this. I'm aware of it subconsciously or maybe, consciously, whatever. And so every so often, not that often anymore because I don't go many places these days, but people say stuff, right? And sometimes it's mean-spirited. Sometimes it's like passive-aggressive. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It used to bother me. It doesn't anymore. So I go to the pizza place. I go in and get my food. There's this guy standing outside picking up something. I don't know if he works there. He probably doesn't work there. He's probably just like wandering around. He's picking up something. And he's like, hey, man, have a good day. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. You too. Because I'm pleasant and civil. I can do that, right? And then so I'm just minding my business. I got my food. I said, I bid farewell to this man I don't know. And he goes, he's watching me walk away. Like you could feel somebody watching you, right? So he's watching me walk away, and he goes, "Hey, you should get flat feet. It'll be better for you." And I didn't say anything. I didn't continue the interaction. I don't know what this guy's deal was, if he had some kind of issue going on, or if he, I didn't want to have a full-fledged conversation because I had food in my hand. But that is certainly not the worst thing a stranger's ever said to me while I'm outside. And about that, right? Because sometimes it's mean and people just want to talk. And I was like, all right, whatever. I just usually just let it go. Doesn't matter. I'm an adult. I got things to do. But this guy, yeah. And I understood immediately what he was doing. And there was no malice behind it. There was no, he wasn't trying to be a. And he just said, "Hey, man, you should get flat feet. It'll be better." Meaning, hey, buddy, why you walk like that? It'd be better if you didn't do that instead. And I just, the last 10 months or so have been really stressful with all the things we've had to handle. And every so often you just need that, right? You got to laugh. And again, maybe this means nothing to any of you because you don't understand or don't know what's it like to be me. No, because that's not something you deal with, right? And I'm not saying I get harassed on the street, whatever. I'm not diving into any of that, but I try to talk to you, that kind of stuff. But I mean, just every so often you got to laugh about it. I do anyway, just because it was what I needed. I'm just out getting food, and I had a weird week at work, and I'm just like, man, I just 10 minutes with my thoughts or whatever, however long the walk takes, and then I went back and just laughed all the way back home. It's 7-10 minutes one way, so I'm just giggling to myself all the way home because that guy for sure thought he was giving me landmark advice that no one had given me, and he was like, "Yep, I'm going to help that guy. I'm going to make that guy be better or whatever." And you know what? I hope in 2 months I see that guy again, and maybe he says it again or he says something else. I don't know, but it was something that I needed in the moment to laugh about, and I got it. And so, sir, I don't know if you'll ever find this show or if you if you're going to realize it was me, but you helped me in a way that I didn't expect, and I thank you for it. Yeah, so, people always suggest things like you should do this, and you should get this, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right. But this guy just in earnest, hey, you should do this. And again, no malice behind it, I didn't think. He was just making an honest suggestion to make things better for me, and I appreciated him for it. And just again in that moment, I needed it, and it all worked out. The food was delicious, by the way. I should point that out. This place has a really good French fries. So if you ever come by and you're like, "Hey Pat, where can we get some French fries?" I will point you in the direction of this place, which I will not name, so you don't figure out where I live. All right, is that fair? Yeah. Okay. So. So yeah, that is it's just a funny story, the funny encounter that I had with a random guy outside a pizza place, and wanted to share because maybe you need to pick me up too, because it really helped me out. All right, so let's do fan mail first, and then we'll do the little sports thing, then we'll play the song, then that'll be that for the show. So every so often I get questions on the show, mostly through the website, themeltingpat.com, and usually when that happens, I don't get a name, because the way I set it up, I think anyway, is you don't have to put your name in to submit a question, because it doesn't matter where they come from for me. But I thank you for asking this. I think we covered this a little bit in one of my paternity leave episodes. I'm not sure at this point, but I said, "Hey Pat, have you ever been told what to say or not to say on this show or your live show?" First of all, you've been around that long. God bless you, and I'm sorry you had to deal with all this weird stuff that I do. But also, thank you for sticking around that long. Jeez, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how I did it, to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, have you ever been told what to say or what not to say on the show? On the live show, not really. I did. I know I mentioned this one. I did have a segment taken out of the show. They said, "Hey, this, you can't play this," because somebody on the board, I guess, got upset about it. And it was Yahoo Answers Personals or something like that. And they were like, "Yeah, you can't say that." And the only things that were really off limits for the live show were playing top 40 songs, or no, Billboard Hot 100. Couldn't play those songs, and I couldn't be vulgar. Those were the things that were really like harped on that I couldn't do. Everything else, it was like, yep, your show is yours. Just, don't be vulgar. And then it came to a point where because it was part of a nonprofit, like community project or whatever it was called. And they said, hey, like they gave us this rubric. I think I talked about this when they evaluated our shows. And one of like the boxes to check was, did they talk about something community related? And so I would end up just talking about, hey, there's this festival on the block that's blocking our street. And I would just talk about that. And that would fulfill the requirement. But everything else was just like, all right, cool. Then they all, toward the end, they kind of got mad at me because I never did it after that. I did it like once or twice. And they were like, hey, can you keep doing this? I'm like, yeah, dude, there's nothing going on in my neighborhood. I don't go and mingle with people. So I got nothing. Like, what do you want me to do? You want to make something up? So I did a couple times, I think. I was like, I don't care about this. So that's not really an answer to your question. So they did tell me to say that. And sometimes I did. Most of the time I didn't care. But as far as the network goes for the podcast, the only things were, so when I joined the network in 2015, there was another podcast on here called The Showcast. It was Ben, Adam, and Steve, and they did movie things, TV things, and so it was not mandated, but suggested that I don't really talk about that kind of stuff. Because, say if somebody listens to every show on the network, you don't want to have them hear the same stuff, right? So Ben was like, hey, maybe don't talk about things like this. I'm like, okay, no problem. And like, my show is so, like, I cast a wide net on purpose that if someone ever said, hey, can you not talk about this because we're going to do a whole different show, like when there was, like Panels of Pixels, for example, when they do their rewatches of the Marvel shows or Snowpiercer, or I think they're on Snowpiercer, or I guess, what's the newest one? Moon Knight, which I think they're going to do. So obviously I wouldn't talk about that too, because it's already on the network. So if you listen to me and them, and I recommend you do, because Steve and Mark are fantastic, you would hear the same stuff on both shows, and that's no fun. And so I kind of do that myself, where I'm not going to dive into What If, or, we didn't watch Hawkeye yet, or Moon Knight. Like, I'm not going to dive into those beat by beat, because Mark and Steve are already doing that over on Panels of the Pixels. And so it wouldn't make sense. And so things like that, it was just like, yes, another show in this collective, they're already doing that. And so, hey, maybe don't do that. I'm like, okay, no problem at all. So it's not like, hey, don't say this. It was like, hey, this other show is here doing this thing, so maybe we don't want to have the same stuff across the network. And that makes sense to me. So I started doing video games. I was always going to do sports and retail and stuff like that. But then I started doing video games and just random that happens to me. And yeah, and then when the showcast was over, then I could start doing movies. I know I did like previews and stuff for a little while, and that got tedious, and that's why I don't do it anymore. So, but if you'd like me to talk about something, movies, TV shows, whatever you got going on, there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to see it in any reasonable amount of time, because, when you have a kid, a newborn, I don't know, I didn't say that. I didn't mean to say that so like out of breath, like, I didn't mean to sound so exasperated, but out of breath, like, is that a thing? But if you want me to talk about something, let me know and give me some time to jump into it. Or if you'd like to join me, my schedule's very limited, but if you'd like to come on and talk about something you're watching or working on or whatever, let me know. TheMeltingPat.com. All the things are over there. So a long way to answer your question. No, not really. The live show, there were, I'm not going to say restrictions, but there were definitely things that I say on the show that that I wouldn't be able to say there. And so that I say on the podcast. And so, yes, kind of, but not really. And then when I got here, I was like, hey, we do this, so maybe don't do that. I'm like, okay. So I'm never really held down by anything. I'm never really, hogtied, as it were, as far as what I can and can't talk about, which is great, which is why I love doing this, and wouldn't trade it for anything. I would, however, like to have someone else edit this. That would be great. So let me know if you can do that. Please let me know. So that's that. Thank you for the question, by the way. I'm not sure if I covered that already. I have no idea. I don't know what I did or didn't. I used to have a running list of things that I did, and I've not kept up with it in like 3 years. So maybe at some point I'll be able to go back and, I don't know, make sure I don't repeat things, or maybe I'll just repeat stuff. And somebody somewhere will say, hey, you talked about this on episode whatever. I'll say, buddy, if it's not like 2 weeks ago, there's a great chance I forgot all about it. Even though I technically listened to this twice, because it's me talking about it right now and then editing. So I don't know. It's all good. But again, thanks for the question. I always take questions and comments and whatnot. Like, hey, Pat, talk about this. I will do that. No problem at all. Some of the things might be on the Patreon. Like somebody asked me to talk about the Black China thing, which I will be doing maybe this week. I'm not sure. I'll do a video podcast about that because Jill turned me on to that a couple days ago. And I thought it was funny. And then like right after that, somebody asked me to do it if I wanted to talk about it. So I will on the Patreon. So pay me $5, damn it. Or don't, whatever. Okay, so baseball season is underway. There we go. And how do we get out of that? That's how you do it. And the Phillies are fun for now. You know, that's not perfect. It's not going to be. It was never going to be. But I'm entertained so far. The kid likes, well, he actually prefers basketball to baseball right now, which is great because the NBA playoffs are underway. Well, the play-in tournament's happening this week. And I think today, Saturday, meaning Saturday when the show comes out, the Sixers will start their series with the Raptors. I am nervous about that one because, well, the Raptors just beat the crap out of the Sixers. Well, not really. They won by like 6. But anyway, the Raptors have beaten the Sixers like 3 times this year. So a little nervous, not going to lie. And also, Matisse Thybulle is not eligible to play in Toronto because he's not vaccinated. So that's a problem for the team. It's not like they're definitely going to lose those games, but he would definitely help more, you know, obviously if he's on the court. And like not being able to go because he's got 1 dose or something like that. Come on, bud. Hey, athletes, I'm just going to say this real quick and then we'll get on to something else. Get vaccinated so you can play in Toronto. It's a problem in baseball too because guys on like the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Orioles or whoever are not eligible to play in Toronto because of Canada's requirements. And as far as I can tell, they're not going to get paid for those, I think. I know the NHL's doing that, where like if you miss a game, if your team misses games because somebody's not vaccinated, they don't get paid or something like that. I remember talking about it a month or so ago, or whenever I did that. But anyway, so yeah, he likes watching the kiddo that is likes watching basketball, and we've been watching the Sixers pretty much all year, and he likes the Sixers. He likes we've been watching whatever comes on like basketball wise. We'll put it on because even Jill can appreciate basketball. She doesn't love baseball, but I put it on anyway because baseball's great. So, yeah, the kid likes basketball. Who knew? Who knew? Hopefully, we'll turn that into a fandom at some point. Phil, let me know. Do I need to do anything special to make this kid a Sixers fan? But yeah, I've been watching a lot of basketball, watching a lot of baseball, just whoever's on. I just put it on, and the Phillies are playing today. The day I'm recording, they're playing in like a half hour. So a day game while I'm doing work. I'm excited about that. Yeah, Phillies are fun so far. Like, again, it's not perfect, but it was never going to be. It was never going to be perfect. It was never going to be, you know, they weren't going to score 10 runs a game. If you thought that, you're just being silly. But yeah, so far, they're okay. You know, I'm not saying they're going to, you know, run the table because, you know, it's April and you don't know that yet. But I like what I'm seeing. I mean, you know, a couple guys off to slow starts, but I think this team has what it takes to do to do better. How's that? To win some more games. How about that? Does that work? No? All right. NBA playoffs, man. Whoa, man. And they'dies? Is that a thing that people say? So, yeah. And, also the USFL, the U.S. Football League, is returning, debuting. Was it around before? I don't know. But tonight, Saturday night, 7:30, NBC. The somebody against the somebody. I've seen the commercials. Or no, is it Fox or NBC? Whatever it is. It's tonight at 7, I think. USFL, check your local listings. I'm excited. I am curious. I was talking about this to Jill the other day. So when the XFL came back 2 years ago, they said, hey, these are like the fringe guys from the draft. So like the middle of the road guys who almost made the team but didn't. And that's who the XFL picked up, right? It's not the top tier NFL guys. It's that next level. So my question is, the XFL is rebooting next year. So my question is, where are these USFL guys from? Are these college guys who didn't make the draft or like went undrafted? Are these those same fringe guys who, instead of going back to the XFL and waiting, they're in the USFL now? Are these guys who just got released from NFL teams? Like where are these players coming from? Because that will have an impact on how good the games are. Because the XFL games were okay. They were fine. And so I'm wondering if we're going to get that level or worse. It's probably not going to be better, right? Or is it? I don't know. But anyway, USFL, tonight, Saturday, their season begins. Spring football is back, baby. So we'll check that out. Maybe we'll see some rule changes, different things going on. That would be nice. So there you go. That's all I got for you today. That's it. Yeah, athletes, get vaccinated so you can play in Canada. And watch baseball. Baseball's been fun, people. What else we got? Anything? Nope, we're good. That's all I got for the show for you today. Except this one other thing that I have for you. But like all the talking stuff, like the real topics, that's over. We're done. We're good. See? Quick show. Great. Awesome. Less work for me. So our dear friends Shallow Pools have released a new song. It is called Everything Is Fine. Is this on an album? No, it's a single. And there's also a music video, which is fantastic, which is in the show notes at themeltingpat.com. And also a special treat from the band in the show notes as well. So go ahead, check that out. And it's just like a really funny thing they shared. And so I shared it too. So there you go. Shallowpools.com for more from them. And again, hoping they can join me on the show because they're fantastic. And I miss talking to them. And they're on tour right now, I think. So go see them. Tell them I sent you. And they will for sure know who I am. Probably. Maybe? No? All right. Anyway, Shallow Pools. Everything is fine. It's the Melting Pat. Enjoy.
I've been letting time pass by. Watch the same things every night. Seasons change, I stay inside. I don't mind, I'm alright with wasting time. I don't mind, I'm alright with wasting time. I don't think about when we used to go out, get drunk in a crowded room. Love sitting at home, staring out the window, don't miss what we used to do. Don't ask me how I've been, I'll say I'm alright. Don't ask me, don't. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's getting used to this feeling. Count the cracks in my ceiling. Listen to my heart beating. I don't mind, I'm alright with wasting time. I don't think about when we used to go out, get drunk in a crowded room. Love sitting at home, staring out the window, don't miss what we used to do. Don't ask me how I've been, I'll say I'm alright. Don't ask me, don't. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's so much time in the dark. We'll never get it back. So far gone, out of sight, stuck inside my mind. I don't think about when we used to go out, get drunk in a crowded room. Love sitting at home, staring out the window, don't miss what we used to do. Don't ask me how I've been, I'll say I'm alright. Don't ask me, don't. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
And there you have it, our friends, Shallow Pools with their latest Everything is Fine. It's the Melting Pat, shallowpools.com for more from them. That was a weird. We started a little high on that one, but I think we're okay. There you go. Everything is fine. The music video and a special treat from the band. Why did I do that? I could have gone. We could have done a little bit of that one, but actually, I feel like I got that more wrong than the first one. But anyway, the music video for Everything is Fine is in the show notes at themeltingpat.com, as well as a special treat from the band. It's really fun. So go check that out. Tell them I sent you when you go follow them on social places. Shallow Pools MA, I think, is the most. That's the Twitter, and I think that's everything else. I don't know. Anyway, again, shallowpools.com for more from them. So there you go. Thank you, my friends. Hope to talk to you soon. And that's it. We did it. We made it. We made it out of the show somehow, some way. We got through like 3 topics that I had. Finally, it took 3 tries for some reason to do this episode. But I thank you very much to start this episode anyway. But I thank you very much for being here. I hope you're well. Enjoy your Easter things if you're doing those, or just the nice weather if it's nice where you are. If it's not, I'm sorry. Here's a virtual hug. I don't know. That seems condescending. But anyway, I love you. Thank you for listening. Go enjoy yourself doing whatever you're doing, okay? This has been an 8-Boiler production. G-Love and Special Sauce with cold beverage. They're going to play us out as they always do. Philadelphonic.com for more from them. And that is all for today. Until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do again. Thanks so much for being here. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Go crap open a cold one.